Okay, this is problem number 24. This is what we call a four-stepper. Okay? So, this is what we're going to have to do. We got to find the area, right? Just like before, 1/2 base times the height. We know that this is our height, and we know that this is our base. Now, I can show you how to find it by doing what's called law of cosines, right? But I want to also show you how to do it with the SOHCAHTOA. I mean, you can do a lot with SOHCAHTOA, okay? Now the key is, remember, circling what we have. I have this, and the other, like something else you have on the same triangle. I have this, okay? All right, but now what do we want? Well, I want H, if I can get it, right? So, okay? Now, I need to know how they are labeled. So, with respect to 64, what is 18? Is it opposite? Is it adjacent? Or is it hypotenuse? You're right. It's hard though, right? But it is. Because it's across from the right angle, it is the hypotenuse. I know it seems adjacent because the hypotenuse is always adjacent. Okay? Then, so what is H?
Adjacent.
Yeah. So H is the adjacent one. Okay? So now we're going to list it. We're going to list it as, what are we using? We're using A and H. So which one uses A and H? Cosine. So that means that the cosine of A, which is, or cosine of 64, sorry about that, degrees, is equal to A over H. So what's A? The adjacent? H over 18. Okay? And so that is the definition of SOHCAHTOA. Okay? Alright. Next, we're going to get H alone. Multiply by 18. Alright? And so I get 18 cosine 64. So this is step 2. Okay? It is equal to H. Okay? And that is multiplication property of equality. Alright. And then we simplify. So we just go calculator. Alright. Calculator. 18 times the cosine of 64 equals 7.89. Now it says to round to the nearest tenth, right? So we're going to say 7.9 equals H. And that's your simplify. Okay? Alright, next. Now we're going to look for these. I need both of these to find B. Now, this is where you could use law of sines, law of cosines, right? But it wouldn't be too easy. Actually, it would be easy. But we don't need to use it because we do have a right angle. I can find this other side, right? What do I have to do to find just this piece right here? So we'll call this X, and we'll call this Y, okay? So to find X, right, then again, what is X with respect to 64? Opposite, okay? So now, we're looking for the opposite, and we can use the hypotenuse or the H. It's either one. Since the hypotenuse we didn't round off, it's probably best to use it. So we're going to use hypotenuse. Okay? And you guys could write this down too. This is your problems.
What is this?
All right. This is for SOHCAHTOA and finding the area.
Is it for like a paper?
Mm-hmm.
Can I just have that paper?
Yeah. Well, right now I'm filming, so might just want to write it down. Okay. So we got H. We're trying to find X. Okay. So we're going to do opposite and hypotenuse. So what uses opposite and hypotenuse? Sine. Good. So the sine of 64 is equal to the opposite, which is x, over the hypotenuse, which is 18, right? And that is the definition of SOHCAHTOA. Okay? Alright, next. How do I get x alone? Multiply by 18, right? Okay? So, step 5 is 18 sine 64 degrees is equal to x, which is multiplication property of equality. Okay? Alright, and then we're just going to simplify. Throw it in the calculator. Okay? 18 sine 64 equals, so 16.17, so we're going to say 16.2, okay, equals x. And that's simplified, okay? So we know x. X is 16.2, okay? We know h. H is 7.9, okay? We just need to find y. We'll add x and y together to get b. 1/2 h. B is the area, okay? All right, so how do we find y? Remember, with respect, let's use another color. With respect to 54, we have h, and we're looking for y. Now, y is opposite or adjacent or hypotenuse? Opposite. And h is adjacent or hypotenuse? It's still adjacent. That's cool. Okay. So, what has adjacent and opposite? Tangent. So step 7, let's use a different color. Step 7 is that the tangent of 54 degrees is equal to the opposite, which is y, over the adjacent, which is 7.9, right? Okay? And so that would be, again, definition of SOHCAHTOA. Alright? Next. Multiply by 7.9. So step 8 is 7.9 tangent 54 degrees is equal to y. Okay? So that is multiplication property of equality. Okay? And then we just simplify. Okay? So we're going to do 7.9 times tangent 54, and that's going to be our y. So when we simplify, we got 10